the U.S. citizen says he believes he was targeted because he is Latino. And as a voter who voted for Trump, he says he's now disillusioned by the president's policies.
Normally, I feel less than little pity for Latinos for Trump, or gays for Trump, or ex-marginalized group for Trump, who then finds out and regrets their vote after Donald Trump inevitably attacks said marginalized group, regardless how brainwashed they claim they are, which is the case here.
He ran on lies. He ran on lies. He lied to many of us.
President Trump said that he was going to do this. He said mass deportations.
Of course you're going to brainwash people.
And I still have very little pity for the guy, given he voted for what you're about to see happen to him. But in this case, this guy is actually doing something a little different, rather than simply bitching about it. So how did this man go from a brainwashed Trump supporter to leading a legal charge against Trump's Gestapo? Well, drop a like, subscribe, and buckle up as we unpack together one of the most cathartic redemption arcs I've seen outside of cinema.
Witnesses capturing a traffic stop involving ICE and Border Patrol agents on Brown Street in Rochester Tuesday.
What's your name?
My name is Jose Castro. I'm a citizen here.
I said, brother, I'm American. I'm American. I'm American.
He says the agent asked him what city and hospital he was born in.
I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. And because I didn't know, he threw me to the gate and he twisted my arm.
This was the moment Border Patrol and Florida Highway Patrol officers detained a U.S. citizen while conducting immigration enforcement.
I got rights to talk, bro.
You got no right here.
I do.
Illegal, brother. Get up.
Yeah, insane stuff, especially considering this happened in LA over a month ago and we have the same Gestapo walking around fucking DC now. But here really quick is the local news report from when that incident happened here in Los Angeles. And then we'll get into the follow-up interview you saw a little of earlier, where Brian took actions into his own hands.
I'm American, bro.
This face-to-face encounter with ICE agents still has Brian Gavidia shaken. That's because he says he's an American citizen.
East Los Angeles, born and raised, man. I'm American. I stated I was American. He still attacked me. We're not safe, guys. We're not safe in America today. Be careful.
Gavidia says he was working at a tow yard on West Olympic Boulevard in Montebello when he heard ICE agents were outside.
I stepped outside. An agent came up to me and approached me, and he started walking towards me. I stated I was American 3 times before he even grabbed me. I said, brother, I'm American. I'm American. I'm American.
He says the agent asked him what city and hospital he was born in.
I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. And because I didn't know, he threw me to the gate and he twisted my arm. My homie was born here.
During the encounter, he says his friend, also an American citizen, was rough-handled by federal agents.
I see my friend stating that he's an American. He gets slammed to the floor. He's bleeding from his forehead. I want to jump in. I want to defend my friend. ICE agent looks at me, racks a round into his AR-15. I can't win that battle, man.
Gavidia says the agent took both his phone and real ID and only let him go because his friend started filming.
I couldn't sleep last night, let me tell you the truth. He took my ID, he took my phone. He never gave back my ID. Is this guy gonna come and pick me up at 2, 3 in the morning? I don't know.
Gavidia says he won't be silenced about what he calls blatant mistreatment his community faces during these raids.
It doesn't make me happy. I don't want to be in this position. I don't want to have my face out there like this, but I have to. My people are getting attacked. And yeah, I'm American, but I'm Latino as well.
That is just insane. Not knowing what hospital you're born in is now some sort of criminal offense. It warrants you getting an AR-15 pointed at you, your ID taken, your phone taken, and harassed and beaten and thrown to the ground till you bleed from the fucking forehead. But thankfully, this made Brian here turn over a new leaf, because as you'll recall from earlier and in this next video, he mentions he was a Trump supporter and voted for Trump. But after that encounter, which again, the fact that it took fucking that for you to realize Donald Trump didn't have your best interest at heart, minimal empathy from my end, brother. But to his credit, he is now a part of a lawsuit against ICE for these raids and horrific practices.
Carolyn and Colleen, this is where Brian Gavidia encountered those federal agents nearly 2 months to the day. The U.S. citizen says he believes he was targeted because he is Latino. And as a voter who voted for Trump, he says he's now disillusioned by the president's policies.
This is something that means so much to me. I literally have tattoo in my back.
We the People has been on 29-year-old Brian Gavidia's back for 6 years, but it wasn't until this moment
I'm American, bro. I'm American, bro.
that he says made him really understand what it meant.
Every time I see it on video, it just it's like a bad memory in my brain, 100%.
Agents were conducting an operation outside his shop on June 12th.
I just went to go look. Honestly, they don't know it was a crime to go look.
The video shows one agent pushing Brian up against the wall and demanding he prove his citizenship.
I truly believe I was a target because of my race. I believe I was racially profiled. I believe I was attacked because I was walking while brown.
He says agents held him, took his phone and real ID that proved he was a citizen, and eventually released him, giving back his phone but never his ID. Brian said he was shaken but also empowered.
Where's the freedom? Where's the justice? We live in America. We should be free. We should have justice. This is why I'm fighting today. This is why I'm protecting the Constitution.
He now carries a mini Constitution in his pocket and is one of 7 plaintiffs in the ACLU lawsuit that resulted in a district court's order preventing federal agents from conducting sweeps based on race, accents, or where someone works in 7 Southern California counties. The Trump administration recently asked the Supreme Court to lift that stay. Brian says he voted for Trump.
Because I believe he ran on lies. He ran on lies. He lied to many of us.
President Trump said that he was going to do this. He said mass deportations. He said this is part of his plan.
Yeah, he said criminals. He said, yeah, a bunch of countries opened their jails and released them. Yeah, when you lie to us like that, when you say other countries are releasing their jails and letting them into the population, of course you're going to scare the people. Of course you're going to brainwash people. Like, come on, man. Be real. Tell the truth. If you're going to say something, do exactly what you're going to say. Don't lie. Don't manipulate the people.
Now Brian works to educate the people, handing out red cards that detail rights for immigrants and helping with Know Your Rights workshops. Part of his redemption, he says, believing now more than ever in those 3 words, we the people.
We were all manipulated, we were all brainwashed, and now look at us. We are all suffering because of it, and I feel guilty 100%.
And even though Brian's very confident about that lawsuit, he says his family is still very worried, including his mother, who he says is really concerned about him speaking out. He says he must speak out right now so he can take a stand so other people won't have to put themselves in danger.
And look, folks, please let me know your thoughts in those comments down below about this entire situation. Personally, I think that man, especially being a part of the community he's in, probably should have done more due diligence in the first place. And, you know, I wish these people, I wish MAGA was more informed about the lies that they're being fed and brainwashed with. But that's kind of the point of brainwashing, is for the people not to know, or to care, or to, you know, have many of the facts or the details. And I don't know how much any more of ignorance can really be, you know, a societal fault or the individual's fault. I'm not here to try and litigate that right now. What I do want to say is that other counties in California, Irvine specifically, are looking to support this lawsuit that challenges ICE's sweeps, specifically challenging warrantless immigration detentions across parts of Southern California. But even then, another county, Orange County, supervisors did not take that step Tuesday when they met behind closed doors to discuss whether to join the federal lawsuit. So there are still so many people out there that are as ill-informed as Brian was, or that are in positions of power and don't want to try to do anything to stop this because they're so afraid of Donald Trump and his fucking iron boot and the legal repercussions or the financial repercussions of being sued. And so that is why we need to fight back and scream these things from the rooftop. And you can do that by supporting the work we're doing here. We are independent media. We are not beholden to corporations, to politicians taking money from God knows who, or the major mergers of multimedia corporations that run the mainstream media. And I know, believe me, I know it is hard when you're working a regular job or just getting by to care about politics or to feel like your voice matters or to feel like you can do anything. Even simply going to a protest sometimes doesn't feel like enough. But this is where the real fight is happening. This is where real change will come from. Because we can't just rely on our elected representatives to even fucking represent us anymore. And sure, there are a handful of people who are fighting back in any which way, whether it be Gavin Newsom. But for every one of those, there's at least 10 Republicans, Democrats who are doing absolutely jack shit, other than standing up for 24 hours at a time and speaking and saying all these lofty phrases and still raking in money from corporate donors and lobbyists and riding the high road while doing absolutely fuck all about it. And at the end of the day, there is a capacity, a threshold that any federal troop, any ICE agent, any national body, National Guard body cannot surmount when we as civilians, when we as the people stand up and protect our fellow humans. There are not enough National Guards people to stop us. And I'm not saying we should do anything violent to these people. But as the brave people, the brave protesters in Los Angeles have shown, when we all stand together physically, emotionally, on social media, amplifying our voices, amplifying the messages of progressive people, we outnumber these fascist fucks. And they know it, and they're afraid of it. And their only answer is to try to spark fear in us, to make us think we are too small, we are too insignificant to fight back against this stuff. But that is bullshit. And trust me, I want to talk shit about Brian as much as all of you do, and I probably will. I have already in this video. But for every Brian Gavidia that changes his mind, that is one more person on the side of democracy, of freedom, of people, of human values, of human rights. And fuck all that holier than thou shit. If he's going out and handing cards to his community to help people know their rights, you know what? I can forgive the sin of idiocy and getting brainwashed into Trump's xenophobic messaging. Because at the end of the day, what we need to do to end all of this is to fucking win. And that is something current Democrats cannot fucking do for their lives. But you know who fucking can? Us. We can. So for fuck's sake, if you see an ICE agent in your neighborhood, anywhere, especially if you have the same skin color as me, the same privilege as me, you bust out your fucking phone, you start recording, and whatever you get, you post that fucking everywhere. You let us know. You can email me personally. My email is Kenny, M as in Mary, Hesse, Hesse, @gmail.com. I will take any fucking hints, tips, footage you have, whatever. I will blast it. I will amplify it here on Really American. Whether it's ICE, whether it's injustice, whether it's a MAGA moron showing how much of a bigot they are, send it here. We will play it. We will credit you if you want. We won't if you don't. I can't believe I haven't thought of or said this before about crowdsourcing information like this, but dude, do your part. If you are so inclined, I know so many of you are so passionate like me in the comments and support this work, and we appreciate that so much. But yeah, I'll put my email down here. I'll put the Really American email. Y'all ain't getting my phone number, but send whatever you guys have, and when we can feature it, we shall. Fuck, it's been 2 days since I did a rant, so I'm sorry, I just went off here. But again, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate all of you, and for Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I will see you guys in the next one.